welcome back to yet another vlog of Youngest Traveler Life. I'm Krish Upadhyay and you're watching Antarctica. Have a look around. Wait. Sorry, we are still in Rajasthan and I'm on my way from Jaipur to Jodhpur as it's my day 3. And on my way, there are some fabulous spots that you can visit. Our first stop in the journey from Jaipur to Jodhpur is Kishangarh. And you know what's there here? There's an entire estate of marble industries. And more than that, there's a dumping ground of the Kishangarh marble estate. Here in this dumping ground, there is lots and lots of marble which looks like snow. And as you can see, this is Snow World. Tourists come here for photography and this beautiful scenery. So let me show you around this beautiful Snow World. We have now arrived at our second destination of the journey, here in Ajmer at the Ajmer Sharif Dargah. It contains the tomb of the popular Sufi saint Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. Here, Akbar had come not only once but 14 times during his entire ruling period. Once he had also come here barefooted to pray that he would have sons. We travelled inside and cameras were not allowed, but I'll be showing it to you with a picture. If you come here, please take care of your belongings like your phone and wallet, as there is a lot of crowd here and it can't be.
The distance between Ajmer Sharif and Pushkar is 14 kilometers and it takes approximately 40 minutes to get there.
I am now here at my third destination of the trip, here at Pushkar, in one of the only existing temples of Lord Brahma and the only one. Have you wondered why Lord Brahma doesn't have a temple of his own anywhere around the world, or why isn't it that common? Let me tell you the story behind it. According to the Padma Puranas, there was a demon called Vajravana. And that demon used to harass a lot of people and do a lot of killing. So Lord Brahma got angry and he used his lotus, which was his weapon, to slay him. And while slaying him, petals from the lotus of Lord Brahma fell here in Pushkar. They fell in 3 places, forming 3 lakes. A big lake, or the main Pushkar lake, and 2 other lakes. And so Lord Brahma decided to do a yagna here at the main Pushkar lake. And while doing his yagna, he required his wife, goddess Savitri. But she wasn't present here as she was waiting for her companion goddesses Lakshmi, Parvati and Indrani. So, for the process of the yagna, Lord Brahma first erected mountains on all sides of Pushkar so that no demons could trouble him. Nilgiri in the north, Ratnagiris in the south, Sanchura in the west, and in the east, Suryagiri. And on top of all these mountains, he positioned all the gods to protect him. And now it was time to start the yagna. But Lord Brahma's wife was still missing. So Lord Indra got a girl from a clan nearby named Gayatri. Now Lord Brahma got married with Gayatri and she sat with him for the yagna. And now endowed with all the powers of the yagna, Gayatri also became a goddess. But now when Lord Brahma's original wife arrived at the ritual, she saw that someone else was sitting with her husband. So she was very agitated and she cursed Lord Brahma that nobody would ever worship him. But then she subdued her curse by saying that his worship was allowed in Pushkar. She also cursed Lord Indra that he would be easily defeated in battles. She cursed Agni Dev that he would be all devouring. She also cursed Lord Vishnu that he would part from his consort or wife as a human. Then, because Goddess Gayatri had powers from the Yagna and she had endured all of them, she diluted all the curses of Goddess Savitri by saying that Pushkar would be the king of all yatras, and also Lord Indra would always return to his heaven, and Agni Dev would be very prosperous, and also Lord Vishnu would go into the human form of Lord Rama, and at the end he would unite with his consort. Saying this, Lord Savitri, still angry, went and settled on top of the Ratnagiri mountain. Till this date, you can see the temple of Goddess Savitri on top of the mountain of Ratnagiri.
The distance between Pushkar and Jodhpur is of 180 kilometers, and it takes approximately 3 hours and 50 minutes to cover. To know a place's culture and heritage, you have to stay amongst its locals. And hence, here in Jodhpur, I will be staying at a heritage homestay.
For my stay here in Jodhpur, I am staying here at a heritage homestay which is almost 300 years old. It is located right below the Mehrangarh Fort. Let me show you around. Let's enter our room. If you are coming here to the blue city of Jodhpur, I'll be putting all the details of this heritage homestay in the description box down below. And to avail a flat 10% discount, use YTT04 as a promo code. Have you ever wondered why the city of Jodhpur is painted blue? Well, centuries ago, the Brahmins or the priestly class of Jodhpur painted their homes blue to keep the insects and the mosquitoes out, keep their homes cool during the summer, and also to look different.
One thing is for sure, the panoramic view of the blue houses of Jodhpur along with the majestic Mehrangarh Fort is to die for. Especially on a winter morning with a warm cup of coffee. So guys, this is all from episode 3 of the Rajasthan series. Stay tuned because in my next episode, I will be taking you through the streets of Jodhpur and the Mehrangarh Fort along with the Jaswant Thada.